This is Kickin' and Streamin' Podcast.
What did you watch last week? What did you watch?
So I watched this super campy, I think is probably a good word, movie
Campy.
on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. It's called I Came By, and it's starring Hugh Bonneville, which people may recognize from being the patriarch on Downton Abbey.
Right.
So he's like generally like a nice cuddly character, and anyway, in this he's playing against type. He's a super bad guy. And it's got a really good cast, actually. So he's in it. Kelly MacDonald is in it. Barada Sathu is in it. George McKay, Purcell Ascot, and it's a British film produced by Netflix. And it starts out with the story of graffiti artists who are breaking into rich people's houses and leaving as a social statement, "I came by." So that's where the title of it comes from. And they leave on the walls this, mural or whatever that says "I came by," and it's to bring their cause is to bring attention to injustice and how much better the rich have it and that kind of thing, because it kind of opens up the privacy of these people's homes, because of course they report it to the police, and so then it gets jumped on by media and that kind of thing, and they're posting on social media and all that good stuff. But anyway, so they break into this top judge's house and discover something horrible, and that's where the story begins, I suppose you could really say. It starts with their discovery and their sort of crisis of conscience. What do they do? Because they really want to stay anonymous, and obviously they're going to face some pretty serious charges. One of them has made the decision to start a family and is kind of backing out of the graffiti art whole thing, and he really doesn't want to be involved in it, so there's kind of some conflict between the two. And then it's got some twists and turns before the final ending, which I actually appreciated it. It was, I'm not going to say it was stellar television, but I have to say it was a thoroughly enjoyable movie, if that's the right word. It was a thriller, and it was not entirely predictable, which I think is fantastic. And it's got decent reviews, and if you've got a couple hours to kill and aren't really sure what to watch on Netflix, I can recommend it. It's worth a watch. It's not really important or grand or anything in the scheme of things, but it was very entertaining. It's called I Came By.
And when is this from?
Netflix. And it actually just came out. It was released on the 31st of August. So it's been out about 2 weeks now, I guess.
I Can Buy. And you just stumbled upon it, or did you happen to read something about it that made you interested in it?
I just stumbled upon it. It was, I think, in the list of just released or something when I was scrolling through, or recently added. And I was like, oh, I like Hugh Bonneville. And from the outset that he's a bad guy. There's no surprise there. I was like, it would be kind of fun to watch him play a bad guy, because he does always play like these traditional fatherly English roles.
Yeah.
And he does a good job. Does a good job.
Yeah, sometimes you get these people, especially those older gentlemen, that you used to see them as the bad guy, and then you can see them playing a reversal. Like, for instance, Charles Dance, I believe his name is.
Okay.
Charles Dance was, the Lannister patriarch in Game of Thrones, and then later on we see him as this uncle that on the crown. We see him as the uncle that Charles, the Prince of Wales, is very close to, sort of like regards as a father figure, and things like that. And then much later you see him back to his bad guy shit again on something else. Like, it's really cool, because they don't get typecast, and that after you get to a certain age, of course, you get typecast. So it's cool to see that they have these ways of finding themselves out of the box and doing different things, right?
Yeah, agreed. And I'm sure he's made so much money from Downton Abbey that he can do basically whatever he wants. So
Downton Abbey was a hit. One of those is gonna go in the bucket of I never watched, but that's insane, man. But hey, it is what it is. So, what's the name of this thing again, Jojo?
The movie that I just watched.
Yeah,
I Came
I Can Buy.
Yes.
All right, so I Can Buy is what you watch.
Yes. What about
And
yourself?
I've told you that I was like slightly getting hooked on K-drama,
Yes.
and it just happened. You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
Yes.
in fact, I have made the decision that I'm going to add Korean as my eighth language to learn.
Fantastic.
My eighth language to speak. So I don't know when I'm going to get started with this, but I'm going to start because I'm interested, man. I'm interested. K-drama has got me. Look, after Extraordinary Attorney Woo, I became very interested in the little actress that starred in this show. And so I started looking for all the stuff that she's done, and I found that she had very good reviews. In fact, she's won a couple of very major awards in Korea. Her name is Park Young-bin, and she used to be a child star, and she grew up to be a very, very, very good actress and very on-demand actress. And so, looking for the things that she's done, I found this series that she did, I believe in 2020, called The King's Affection, and it has 20 episodes, very long episodes. Like most of them are no less than an hour and 10 minutes, right?
Okay.
And the fact is, K-drama has its flaws. It's great, it's fantastic stories, great acting. But K-drama has its flaws because it's full of power ballads and really nature shots and like a whole lot of time wasting, if you will. That kind of like slows down the story. It makes the episodes a bit longer. A lot of things that one would consider kind of cheesy if you saw it happen in American TV.
Sure.
Much of the same way that Americans kind of view a little humor in Spanish telenovelas with all of that, But except that the acting in Korean drama is actually really, really on point. Great. The histrionism is perfect, but the editing style is what either gets you too tired of it or you fucking get way too into it. I have an entire Spotify list built of the songs that I've heard on this show, yo. So I'm getting into K-drama and K-pop too,
Well, I think
But
Blackpink is coming out here to perform, so you'll have to.
no, man, I'm into the ballad, the ones that sings the slow ballads. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The
Gotcha.
slow ballad. So I've started collecting. Like Shazam has been like, nigga, are you in Korea?
Oh my gosh,
You know.
that's fantastic.
So seriously, my son told me something when I just started watching these things, and he told me almost every Korean show on Netflix, you will see that they sort of like recruit the same actors. Like it's still the old schools. This studio has, a bunch of actors for 5 years and like exclusive contracts and things like that. And so you see a lot of them in different things. But this one, The King's Affection, 20 episodes, and it's a very entertaining story. It's a time capsule type of thing, from, hundreds of years
Okay.
ago, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. The cinematography is insane. The costumes are absolutely fantastic, and the acting is great, and the editing, well, it is what it is, but it's nothing that I get tired of, really, because it's just, of course, it's a different style of editing. It's a different style of storytelling more than anything else. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, really enjoyable show. I highly, highly recommend this particular show. If you haven't watched Extraordinary Attorney Woo, give it a go, because that one is a bit more, fast tracked and more modern in the sense that it's about courtrooms and attorneys and blah, blah, blah. It's just a legal show from Korea. Like, I mean, this is beautiful. We see so many legal shows, from the US and Canada, to see something from a completely different culture, different language, different legal system. It's a beautiful thing to see. And I can't see why not, So highly recommended, The King's Affection, Korean show on Netflix.